Okay. Hi, this is Once to Watch Chef's Choice. I'm Abby Kenna, and today I'm joined by Anna Shoemaker.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. You're just so stoked to be on here that you ripped the whole leg of your pants.
Listen.
How did it happen?
Listen, it's August 27th. It's August. And I just this morning chugged a pumpkin spice coffee.
That's right. That's right.
ripped the entire butt of my jeans. Sent a picture of the ripped jeans to my crush. He hasn't responded.
Oh.
Yet.
He's asleep.
He's asleep.
He's asleep. He's going to wake up and be like, thank God. That's the first thing I saw this morning.
So yeah,
Amazing.
weird morning. But I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you for being here. You're LA based now, right?
I'm kind of in the process of moving to LA now. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And you spent a decent amount of time in New York.
I mean, I lived in New York for 6 years up until a couple months ago.
Yeah.
So the past couple months I've been subleasing and in the process of moving.
Mm-hmm.
And I was actually thinking about this on my way here. I've been going to different coffee shops and stuff in LA, and there's always a hot guy sitting outside reading bell hooks.
Yep.
And I'm homesick, enough of this. I need to go to Dunkin. And I casually brought up to someone in conversation that I've been going to the Dunkin in Hollywood, and they were like, that's going to get your coffee in Times Square.
Yeah.
That's the craziest thing you could do. And I'm like, okay, well, that's humiliating.
Very New York of you, though.
Sorry about that. I just pull up outside, go in, get my coffee, come out. It's so chaotic, but I'm I feel at peace in that chaos. I don't need Mario for those.
Your car is running.
Literally,
your flashers are on.
Literally, people are freaking out. There's a bus about to hit me. I'm take me.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't go to Silver Lake. It's way too Brooklyn, bad male manipulator vibes. It's a scary place. Well, how are you liking LA?
I love it.
Okay.
I really like it. Yeah. Yeah, I like being in the car. I like driving. I like
those are words I don't hear a lot.
Really? I love it. I love being in my little bubble and listening to music.
Yeah. I guess you don't get a lot of alone time in New York. You have to be around people all of the time.
Yeah. I love singing along to music in the car, and you can't do that on the subway.
I
guess you could.
Some do.
Yeah, some do, but not. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, you're about to head out on tour.
Yeah.
Jovi. When this comes out, you'll have been mid-tour.
Yeah.
We were just talking about how long it is.
I know. It's a long tour, but I'm so excited.
Have you've been out on tour before?
Yeah.
Okay, but not this long.
I think it was a similar length.
Okay.
It was maybe a little bit shorter. Yeah.
Amazing.
Actually, no, it was definitely shorter.
Are you excited?
I'm really excited. I love touring. I love meeting everyone and playing shows. I think this one's going to be extra special too, because I'm just doing it acoustic, and I feel a lot of the new music really lends itself to that.
Yeah.
So I'm so excited.
I've been very
practicing
different.
a lot.
Yeah, I bet. That's in some ways a lot more pressure, but also I feel it's nicer. It's you're just relying on yourself, and you can change shit up if you want to.
Yeah, totally. I think it's going to be nice to just, it is a lot of pressure, but I feel it'll be good.
I'm excited. Yay. Well, welcome to Chef's Choice. This is our little taste-making podcast where we go through a 3-course meal of your music.
Woohoo!
And I would love to know, if listeners had never heard your music before, what is the appetizer to you? What's the first song you'd want them to listen to?
I think probably my song Holly. Just because I don't know, I feel any time an artist talks about one of their newer songs or something, or whenever I write a new song, I'm okay, this is a turning point, this is how all my music should sound. This is the real me. And I get that in a sense, like every time I write a song, I'm like, okay, this is like who I am now. But I think when my producer, Constantine, and I wrote Holly, it really did feel like something special, and it really did feel like very me and very natural, and, you know, kind of like a natural way to be myself in a way. Like, yeah, I don't know, the writing was a little bit silly, and the production was just super organic, and kind of like had a lot of those acoustic guitars. And I feel like that was the song that we kind of was our North Star, I would say, that we just kind of like started to follow. Right. And yeah, it's still one of my favorites to play live. So I'm really excited.
Amazing. Well, tell me a little bit about like the writing of that song. Did you write it as you produced it?
So he had this demo that was like basically the track almost finished. Like he had the whole like the instrumental basically. And we were doing this like weird thing at that time where he would have a demo, he'd like name it something weird, and we would just try to like, I would try to work the title in, and it was called Holly. I feel like it was around Christmas time or something. I don't know why it was called Holly. And he's like, obviously we shouldn't write the title into this one. You know, like the other songs were like 666, like Hey Anna, like they were ADHD, like we were kind of like working them in. And then Holly, he's like, well, obviously like we're not going to use like Holly in this song. And I was like, no, like what if it was just like I told Holly? Because it's kind of about, honestly, it's when I think of it, I think of my mom. It's kind of about like when you're in a really kind of toxic relationship and you keep telling you tell your friends about it, and then you're like, okay, like we're fine, you know, like we're good now. And then something else bad happens and you have to go back and tell your friends. It's kind of like saying to the guy, like, listen, I told Holly that we were good, so we have to be good. We have to have, it's one of those like the memes, like it's like a let's have a good day relationship. Like, I'm so glad I'm not in a let's have a good day relationship.
No, that's so classic though. It's like you cannot tell your mother.
Totally.
If you think there's a chance she'll go back.
Totally. And I remember I told my mom and I was like, that's it.
That's that.
Yeah, I guess that's it.
I love knowing that Holly is like not a real person, because I totally thought, because it is a real situation, but Holly's just the name of that demo.
Yeah, Holly's the name of the demo, but Holly is like, you know, it's like your best friend or like your mom, and it's like once you tell them what that guy said to you, it's like you can't go back.
That's a cool little like songwriting exercise.
It is. It's definitely, it's fun. It's kind of fun to put like parameters and limits on yourself when you're writing, just because you could write anything, you know?
Yeah, and that's the scary part when you're just like starting from nothing, is like totally. I am sitting here and I could write anything and I have nothing to go off of.
Totally.
Are you often starting songs on your own, or are you usually working with your producer?
I do it all different kinds of ways. A lot of my favorite way is to write with Constantine, or to kind of write with a producer, mostly Constantine. But lately I've been writing a lot of songs just on my own, on my guitar, which has been really nice. But all of the songs on my album that are coming out, I wrote with Constantine.
Yeah, that honestly does kind of make sense, like the through line of it. You said like Holly felt a little bit more like you because it was a little bit more organic. And this album is definitely like a lot of organic sounds.
Definitely.
And then that lends itself to like you writing on guitar. It's like you're settling in to yourself.
Yeah. Well, it's so funny because this is how I started. Like I just started playing in coffee shops and bars, like literally just by myself on guitar.
Yeah. All
the time. And I would only write by myself on guitar. And it's interesting how you kind of like, you know, I've kind of made a full circle back to where I came from.
Right. It's funny how you think you need to like make it so like finessed and like professional.
Yeah.
But you go back to your roots.
Totally. It's part of like growing, you know, you think you need all these things, but really it's just like in you, you know?
Yeah. What made you want to start writing music? Yeah. When did music begin in your life?
I always was just like that, like annoying girl. Like I just always have been
What was
writing.
annoying about it?
I just was always singing and writing songs and making like little plays and making my sister be in it, you know, like I just always like loved it. I always wanted to be a musician.
Yeah. And then when did it become like the career? Like when did that shift happen?
I feel like I was always serious about it.
Oh, amazing.
Like, I was always like very, very serious. Like even in middle school, I would be writing songs and my dad would come home from work every night, and he would come up and he'd be like, so like, what song did you write? And I'd be like, this is like this song, or I'd play him like a cover. And yeah, he's super supportive. Both my parents are, but
that's amazing.
But I always just knew that I wanted to do it.
Wow. And neither of your parents are musicians. They just like love that you were. Okay.
God, no.
In fact, the opposite.
Yeah, no. I feel like my dad thinks he could sing, maybe.
Yeah. We'll let him believe that. Yeah. Good. And wait, where did you grow up?
In Philly.
Oh, okay. So super close to like New York, Jersey. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I know I like you. You're from Jersey.
Because we have that East Coast in us.
Yes.
I know. Yes. I'm still like, I'm looking for that in LA.
I know.
There's a lot of New Jerseyans
Try
out here.
the Dunkin in Hollywood.
I don't want to. I have gone to the Dunkin in Sherman Oaks, though.
Okay, cool.
I like that one.
I love Dunkin.
I really do, too. I love touching down to Newark Airport at 5 o'clock in the morning and getting a Dunkin' first thing.
That's sick.
It feels good and right.
That's sick. I love that.
Thank you. Well, now we're heading into album era. And I would love to know what song off of that feels like it represents you right now. Like, what is the meat of who you are?
I think definitely Game of Thrones. Honestly, like when we wrote that one, I was like, I really, really like went over and over and over on those lyrics. And I was even like changing them after we cut the vocals. Like we really went in on those. And I think about Jacob Elordi, and if my personality's getting bored, and it's no surprise, you can't get what you want from me. You know, I'm really proud of that one writing wise. Like that's one of my most like proudest kind of writing moments, I think. Yeah. And it just feels very me. It's very much just who I am and like where I'm at, I guess, in my life. And it feels very like just my like word vomit.
Yeah, it's like, it's one of those songs where I didn't know how I was going to get to the word Game of Thrones until I listened to it. And then I was like,
I've never seen Game of Thrones.
Me either. I kind of expected it to be like very epic sounding.
Yeah.
I was like, how are we going to get here? And then I loved it. I'm curious though, like how did it happen? Did you start with the title? Did you find it?
That one, I think we found the title in writing. You know, I think the first line that we had for that one was the first one, like the ballet corps stuff, and just kind of this like how insane it is to be a woman and like to be anyone really on the internet, you know, like just to be like constantly like thrown these things like, oh yeah, like ballet corps, like look at this like hot girl, or like you should look like this, and then like Facetune and this and this, and like I don't know, it's just like it's just interesting. And then people will like accuse you of being like too vain or too vapid or these things, and it's like, well, what do you like want? And kind of like the chorus is kind of just like just me like joking, like if all I think about is like Jacob Elordi, like of course you're not interested in me, of course like I'm dumb, you know. It's just like hard to like find the balance between like, you know, like femininity and seriousness, I guess. Like I don't know, it's just it's weird. I think a lot about like social media and stuff because I love it. I love like Instagram.
You do?
And
okay.
Stuff. Yeah,
amazing.
I think it's so fun, but it's like, you know, of course it's just like crazy.
You can't win.
No.
Really. Yeah. They like want you to do certain things with your looks, but then they don't want you to objectify yourself.
Yeah,
and then,
totally. I think you can't win unless you just don't care.
Right.
So I think that was kind of what this song was. We're just kind of like, you know, joking around and, you know, making light of it a little
joking,
bit.
But also it's a very real thing.
Oh yeah.
Especially for someone in music, and I see your TikToks. And yeah, people, they will step on anything. Like some people truly exist on the internet just to leave a hate comment.
Totally.
That makes no sense.
Totally. But, it's bizarre. Yeah.
I also love how it is kind of like a time capsule of like the era that we're in right now. Like I wonder how that song is going to feel in like 5 years.
I know.
The nostalgia.
I know. I had wanted to call it ballet corps, but
I like that too.
Team was like, oh, like I don't know what that is.
Oh, they said, but I know Game of Thrones.
Yeah. It's funny. I really like that one. And we also were able to do like the big music video for it, which was kind of like my dream situation to like do it in Montana.
Yeah.
With my grandpa's car and just kind of like,
cool.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah. Tell me about that. Did you play a part in the directing, the like ideation of it?
Well, my good friend Josephina, she's an insane director and she's done like most of my videos and we've gotten so close. Like we just work together really well. And working with her is just always so fun. We just like do whatever. It's really fun.
Oh, that's so sweet. It's cool to see it come to life in that way.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's like better than I could have imagined. Honestly, it like looks exactly how it looks in my head.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
Love.
She always does that though. Like she's amazing.
It takes a special type of person to be able to like communicate, like translate the thoughts in your head.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Love. I would love to know like Game of Thrones specifically, but also sort of like album generically. What were your sonic influences moving forward through this album writing process?
When we wrote we had mostly finished writing the album and like we had demoed it all out and then we drove down to Nashville and we recorded it in Nashville.
Cool.
And honestly, like on the way down to Nashville, we listened to a lot of music and I think like the two references we kept coming back to were like Casey Musgraves and Alex G.
Cool.
I just like love Casey Musgraves so much. Like not even just the newer stuff, like the older kind of more country pop stuff. And then I love the most recent Alex G album. Like I think it's just like a beautiful studio album and we were kind of obsessed with that. And we also listened to like a lot of Pine Grove and
oh yes.
Yeah. I just love pop music though too. Like I you know, anything like the Chapel stuff. But I would say like our two kind of people that we listened to a lot were Casey Musgraves and Alex G.
Amazing. There was one specific song on the album that gave me like new Pine Grove vibes and now I'm forgetting.
Oh my God.
It might have been Wishing You Well. I'm not sure.
Or Back Again, maybe.
Maybe. You're like, I know the one.
I know. I'm like, because we were, no, I don't know.
No, in the best way. Like, I love that music and I've listened to it to death. So it's cool to hear it reimagined and like with a pop vocal too. Amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I love working with Constantine because he's very, he has such a different brain. We have such different brains. I'm so pop focused. I'm like, this has to come back to the same melody. This has to do that. And he's so, he likes to take it a little bit left. So it's cool.
It's nice to have someone who will push you in that regard.
Yeah, definitely. Him and I definitely have like veto power over each other. Like if someone's like, that's a no. Like if he says like, Anna, like seriously, that's a no. Or if I say it, like, we're like, we trust each other.
Yeah.
It's cool.
That's a very good producer relationship.
It is. Yeah. It is. It's a good friend relationship too.
Yeah, that's true. Did you mean to like write this album as an album? I'm always curious, like if it was intentional.
Yeah, in a way. I mean, we had a bunch of demos and then something similar happened. We had written Back Again, which is a song on the record. And we were like, okay, like similar to Holly, we're like, okay, this kind of feels like the vibe of the record. So we went back to a lot of our demos and we redid them. And we kind of like, we had them written, but Constantine reproduced them. I sat and watched him and like was annoying over his shoulder.
No, good.
But yeah, some of the songs weren't written as like a cohesive album, but honestly, like my writing is so personal that it kind of, I feel like any song that I write is just going to be about my life. Like it's never like a big concept thing, like it's, I feel like there's themes running throughout because it's just like about me. So
yeah, your voice is consistent throughout the whole thing. Yeah.
Hopefully.
It is. It definitely is.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, I would love to know for our third track what like a favorite is off of the album for you.
I think Fields has to be for me I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's just so special to me because we had started writing it on the night before we went down to Nashville. I've been losing sleep. Something's gonna famously Constantine thought about quitting music that night.
Wait, what? Why?
And he was just like, I don't know if this is for me anymore. But obviously, everything's, that's just like thoughts that run through your head when you're like, we're driving to Nashville and we like, it's just crazy. Yeah. But we had tried to write it the night before we drove down, and we were like, oh, this will be chill. Like, we like this song. Let's just write it. We are quick writers, and we tried to, and we were like, it wasn't working. It was so weird because usually we write really quickly.
Yeah.
So we kind of were like, whatever. We have other songs to cut. Like, it's not a big deal. But when we got down there were a few songs that weren't working in the studio, and we wanted to scrap them. And I was like, let's bring back Fields. Let's bring back Fields. And the engineer was like, you guys are crazy. Like, you're not, like, what are you talking about? You're not just gonna, you don't even have the song written. Yeah. So like in between recording, we kept kind of working on it. And I remember I was like trying to write it in the car. There's all these weird like voice memos of me in the car, like trying to work it out.
Love, yeah.
And we finally got it, and I finally got the chorus. And I remember I got the chorus when the engineer, John and Constantine, they were like fighting or like trying to move something, and I was like sitting at the computer, and I was like, okay, I think I got the chorus, but like the voice memo, I'm like, do you guys need help? And then I'm like singing. So yeah, that one was just like, it was just fun to write. Usually songs come out like pretty quickly for this record, but this one took a while, so it was a journey.
It sounds like a labor of love for sure.
Yeah. This one for sure.
What was the roadblock? Was it just like it wasn't feeling right yet?
Well, we had the first verse, so it was kind of like our like New Year's resolution song that we wrote in January. We were like, like we just kind of felt stuck to that concept, and we couldn't really like see out of it. And I think it just literally took, because it is a song about kind of like wanting to run away and wanting to like better yourself and be the best that you can, but also, that's scary to like run away from like who you've always been.
Totally.
And I think it literally probably took just actually going to Nashville, like getting out of our comfort zone, like putting myself in a new situation, like away from all my friends and stuff. And it's like the song just kind of manifested itself. Like, it's just about what we did,
Right. Literally running away to write the song about running away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that your first time in Nashville?
No, I've been in Nashville. I've recorded there a few times, but this was my first time working with John in his studio. We were actually the first ones to work in his studio. He just had built it. It's so beautiful.
Wow. That's really cool. Yeah. I've still never been, and every time I talk to people, they convince me a little bit more.
Fun. I like Nashville a lot.
Yeah, everyone's like two-stepping, and sounds fun.
Yeah, Morgan Wallen's like throwing chairs off the balcony of his bar.
Of course. Casual Wednesday night.
Yeah, of course.
Amazing. Well, I have a couple of closing questions.
Oh God, I'm scared.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you should be. I would love to know, if your music was a candle, what it would smell like.
Oh my God. I feel like it would be like tobacco, vanilla.
Yeah.
Vibes. Maybe like, but also like some like Christmas tree, like pine.
Ooh. Yeah. That's very Northeast.
Yeah.
Love this. Oh wait, this isn't in my triplet of final questions, but I'd love to know why you named the album what you named it.
So it's a line in Game of Thrones, and it's kind of in this part of the song where I'm talking about like how like I'm like saying how like I blacked out at the family reunion.
Well, yeah.
And they're all like, I told everyone that I was writing a novel, and in the morning, like I heard them talking about me, and they said like someone should stop her from doing that. And it's kind of this I think it's an insecurity that I don't know if everyone has it, but that I have sometimes as an artist, where I'm like, am I good? Like, should I like keep doing that? Like, is someone going to say like, you're being cringe? Like, is someone going to say like, hey, like you should like go like become an accountant, or like,
oh gosh,
like is like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of that like is some like, just like, I don't know, that like scariness of like, is this the right thing? Am I doing this? So it's kind of that like someone should stop her. And we had the whole like road trip theme too. And it's kind of like me, like, you know, running away from New York. I'm like, is this a good idea? But it's like, ultimately no one's going to tell you like what you should do. So you just have to like dig within.
Yeah, I like that.
Follow your gut.
I think by like naming it that, you kind of like, it almost makes it like tongue in cheek. It's like, well, they haven't yet and I'm doing it. So
yeah, that's kind of, I feel like my whole thing. I'm kind of a little bit, I try to stay a little bit tongue in cheek because I think being too serious, I can't. It's too crazy to be serious. Not in this life, no, sure. I'm not. I am not that girl.
Well, my other question is, I would love to know your favorite sound right now that is not music related.
Oh. My favorite sound that's not music related, probably like because I'm like in LA so far from my friends, probably when my phone is ringing and it's my besties FaceTiming me or calling me. We just like yap on the phone all day. So probably like when my phone's ringing, I'm like, hey, oh my God.
That's hard. You need to convince them to move here.
I know. Guys, if you're watching.
They must. My very final question, and the most important, of course, is who are your ones to watch? Who am I listening, or who are you listening to that I should be listening to?
I get hyper fixated on like a certain artist, and right now I'm like obsessed with Howdy. I like only listen to Howdy.
Yes.
Those are my ones to watch.
Okay, amazing. I'm about to start listening to one album a day.
Oh my God, you should
a year
listen
straight. So
you should listen to both of their albums, True Love and then Howdy. I've been just listening to those like on repeat.
It's on deck. Sounds good. Well, thank you so much, and good luck on tour.
Thank you.
I'm super stoked. I'll probably be at either the LA show or the Asbury Park show on opposite sides of the country.
Yeah, perfect.
My mom will definitely be at the Asbury Park show.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Once again, this is Ones to Watch Chef's Choice. I'm Abby Kenna, and this is Anna Shoemaker. Listen to Game of Thrones.
Yay.
Yay.